Okay, so we've got our animations in here now, but they're not going to do anything on their own. So the first thing we need to create is going to be something called a blend space. Okay, a couple of different ones. We're going to go with the 1D blend space. Okay, when you choose to create a blend space, you have to choose the skeleton. So there's the mannequin one, and there's our mutant one. So we're going to call this something like idle, walk, run, BS for blend space. Okay, so it's going to blend together 3 different animations. You can probably guess which ones. So if we double click to open it up, you can see it's got a character there already because we selected that character when we made it. Down on the bottom right hand side, we've got our animations that are associated to this skeleton. Okay, so we want our idle animation on the left, so you can click and drag it over to the left hand side. See, he starts playing the idle animation. We want our walking animation in the center, and we want our running animation over here on the right hand side. All right, see there's a little green dot in the middle here, diamond. If you click and drag that, you can preview how those animations are blending together. You can see it's how it's going from idle into the walk, and then if you keep going into the run animations. Okay, so they're all blended together. Let's leave that wherever. So what we now need to do is go over here to where it says horizontal axes. So at the moment this is represented by just nothing. So this essentially, for what we're doing here, is going to be represented by the speed the character's moving. Okay, so we're going to call that speed. If I can type properly. And the maximum value we want to go to is going to be 220. And that's going to make more sense later when we come to actually program this in, how the character is going to move. Okay, interpolation time. Okay, it's just put it like 0.1 or something. I think that's just to do with how smooth the transition is between animations. But that looks pretty smooth how it is, so that's okay. So we can save that, close it down. The next thing we need to do, again, this blend space isn't going to do anything on its own, it's just blended 3 animations together. So next thing we want to make is an animation blueprint. Okay, so again, choose the skeleton we want with it, push OK, and call it mutant anim BP, something like that. Okay, so what I'm just going to show you, if you go to the mannequin, which is this guy here, there's an animations folder for him, which has all these things in, which you might not have seen before. So it's got the blend space, all his animations, and his animation blueprint. So what we're going to do is open up the third person animation blueprint, go to the event graph, and all this stuff here is essentially kind of written for us. So rather than us writing this all out again for our blend blueprint, highlight it all, copy it, go back to our blend space blueprint animation for our mutant that we just made, the event graph for that, get rid of anything that's there, and paste that in. Okay, which is great so far. So the issue though we're going to have is there's a couple of variables that are used here that we don't have created because they were created in the other one. So we've got is in air and we've got speed. Speed's afloat, is in air as a boolean. So we need to recreate those. So is in air, question mark. It's already a boolean. See, that's kind of registered now up there. and then variable that's called speed, but that needs to be a float. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So you can compile that and you'll get a nice green tick because that is all working. Okay, so that's fine, but again, our character's still not going to do anything. So we need to go over to this anim graph, okay, which you get only in a blueprint, an animation blueprint. And we can see this thing called a final animation pose, which we need to plug something into it. So what we need to plug into it is something known as a state machine. Okay, so if you right click and search for state machine, you'll get one. And a state machine essentially holds all the information of how a character is animated and how it moves between those different animations in its states, essentially. If I double click it to open it, from this entry node here, our first state, add state, is sort of idle, walk, run. Okay. In fact, actually, scrap that idea. I won't create it in that way. Just delete that. We've actually got the blend space already for it, so I'm just going to drag the blend space in. So it's already there, and then just hook that up to it. Okay. So just compile that for now. Go back up here to this and just plug that into the end result and compile. And you can see this little animation thing here to show that it's working. And just to have a look at what's going on, it's going to save all. I'm going to go to my third person BP into blueprints. And remember your third person character blueprint. Okay. Yeah, this guy here. So this is still our character blueprint. Okay, what we've been using so far are animation blueprints. This is the actual blueprint for the character, which is still being told to use the mannequin. But what we can see now is over here where we've got mesh. We now have our skeletal mesh, remember with the purple line under it, for our mutant. So we can click there to use him as the skeletal mesh. And then the animations is still to use animation blueprint. And then if you look in here, you've got the third person animation blueprint, which we were using. That was for the mannequin, which by the way won't just work automatically with this guy. Probably thinking that, but it won't. The skeletons are different. And we've got the one that we made, the mutant anim blueprint. Okay, so we can assign him to use that. Okay, we'll just compile and save that. It might do the walking already. Let's just test it. So we push play. We can see the idle is working. If we start moving, yeah, at the moment, the actually doesn't know how to transition between those animations yet. Okay, which we'll tell it how to do that in a moment. All right, but for now, let's make sure you're up to there. You've got the character in, and you've got your animations. You've got your blend space working, and you've got the start of your animation blueprint. Okay.